Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we are going to go through Nightmare 1 through to 10. I don't know what it will be yet, but bear with me. Sweet, there is 100 and we can't quick battle anymore. So what we could do is we could auto battle our way all the way through. But as it stands, I think it's probably best that we have a look at some different types of monarchs. So we'll use this as a learning opportunity in order to power through. So first things first, who are the strongest monarchs? Well, Cleo is probably the strongest monarch of them all. And the reason for that is because she's so versatile. But the majority of players will not have a copy of Cleo. So who should you focus on next? Yes, it is Elisha. Now, Elisha is very, very strong, and you don't really need to build an Ethereal's team around Elisha. The reason for that is because all units can get crits, and that is how Elisha will help build the team up and provide those valuable stacks that you can provide. Now, the next strongest would be Aphrodite, but Aphrodite typically is only run in PvP, primarily because these enemies most of the time in more difficult stages cannot be stolen. However, believe in the lower stages of Nightmare Hell difficulty, they can be stolen. However, we won't be running Aphrodite today. I think, for me personally, I think the strongest setup for your Monarch synergy would be something like this, being a Glorians team. The reason for that, well, the Glorians, including Callister, again, the reason for that is primarily because of the 4 actual Monarchs on Glorians. Plus, if you do have a copy of Cleopatra up to 8 stars, you can technically have a full 5 Glorians Monarchs team. So again, very, very strong build. Lee, very powerful. If he dodges Lily and Leah to provide support and increase that stack limit, Talanas to provide stun and big damage on her ultimate, and Audrey for the lifesteal as well. So again, I would say probably the strongest 4 Monarch team in the game is this. However, there is another contender. The other contender would be your Mystifiers. So if we jump into Mystifiers, there are also 4 Mystifiers. Technically 5 if you include Cleo or Victoria. So it would look something like this. So having Sandra, Astrid, Dullahan and Talos. Now these are, I would probably say this is actually more of a B team now, Mystifier's B team, and the reason for that is because of Tsukiyomi, because of Gaia, and because of the other 2 strikers, Catherine and Mulan, at the bottom of the screen here. Those 4 down at the bottom are very, very powerful. But if you are just looking for Monarch value, I would say that this team is in fact very, very strong, and you probably would take out Sandra of this team. You would just have these 3 Monarchs. You would pop in Gaia and Tsukiyomi on this team as well, just for the additional damage. So we can run either or is fine, but I think we'll go with Mystifiers on this one, just because. I'll tell you what, we'll do one of each. So we'll go with this team, and then we'll build another team as well. So we'll go with our, in fact, Underworld Key. Where have you got to? Here you are. Underworld Key, Plague Bow, and Lance, I would say, are probably the best relics for the job for our Mystifiers team. So we are looking to apply as many corrode stacks as possible. Fortunately, Dullahan does help with that. He increases the corrode stack limit by 5 when he is deployed. Talos also increases corrode damage of those units who do that, like Dullahan, like Gaia, like Tsukiyomi. Astrid, whenever she attacks, or whenever she does her ultimate attack, she will apply the 4 stacks of corrode to increase the attack and defense, with thanks to Tsukiyomi and with thanks to Gaia increasing damage and damage reduction. You do have Tsukiyomi, as I mentioned before, very, very strong, probably one of the most powerful Mystifiers behind Gaia. The reason for that is because she steals attack and defense from enemies based on how many corrodes have been applied. Now, if you have got a full 5 Mystifiers team, you will apply those 5 stacks of corrode at the start of battle, and therefore Tsukiyomi will steal 5 million attack and 5 million defense from the enemy, making the difference around 10 million between you before anybody takes action. Gaia will slow the team down, and also whenever corrode stack is applied, she will apply a second corrode stack. So say for example you apply 4 stacks of corrode with Astrid, you will in fact apply 5 stacks of corrode with Astrid. I believe that's how it works. If you apply 1 stack of corrode with Dullahan, you will also apply 10 stacks of corrode, because it's 2 each per enemy with Gaia. And the more stacks of corrode that you have, the better off you'll be. So bear with me. Okay, and we're back. So this is the Monarchs team that I'm going to build with or for the Glorians. Now, the Glorians are slightly different in that they don't apply any debuffs or corrode stacks. They do apply debuffs, but it's not in the same manner, so there's no indirect damage. It all comes from stealing enemies' attack buffs and enemies' defense buffs with your Glorians ability. And as you can see, we're doing much less damage with the Glorians team here than we were doing with the Mystifiers. And again, Mystifiers are really strong this season because of the stealing of attack and defense. We are actually retaliating quite a bit with Lee as well. We also have this, after triggering dodge, retaliates with a basic attack against the attacker during battle. The reason that it's so powerful, or the reason that these teams are so powerful, is because of that Monarch synergy, but also Wu does put a lot of work in here. As you can see, we have stolen the enemy unit over here, the enemy Karnak, and Audrey to do massive amount of damage as well. Audrey is your big powerhouse. The way that this, we'll do another one, bear with me. Sorry about that, somebody needed a wee, it was not me. But as I was saying, so the way that this team functions is you do rely quite heavily on Lily and Leah, and the reason that you would rely quite heavily on Lily and Leah is primarily because of the defense that they provide, so the shielding and the healing. You would also rely on Lee for your offense, specifically attacking enemies back when he is attacked. You have Telenas, who will provide that big damage and the stun effect occasionally if your attack stacks are higher than 12. When she does her ultimate, she will stun the enemy team for 2 rounds. And then you've got Audrey, who will steal enemy heals if you have her runes. She will also absorb any healing over. So if she has full health and she receives healing, she will in fact overheal and increase her attack up to, I think, 20 million additional attack. So a very powerful effect indeed. And then you have Wu Zetian, who provides 75% damage reduction for the entire team. So that 75% damage reduction combined with the Monarch synergy is really strong. So let's jump in again and let me just show off this team one more time, and then what we'll do is we'll build another Monarchs team and just show you all of the different Monarchs that are available. We'll go through it and just see how the team functions. Again, we're not really looking to power through. The reason that I'm not really looking to rush through this entire event is because we have 30 days to finish the event. Now, I could be up to sort of Hell 100 right now. With the teams that I've got, I would just set one team and I would go auto battle all the way through Hell up to when I got stuck. Then I would change the team ever so slightly and I would power through even more. But the point of all of these particular doing Nightmare, 1 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, so on and so forth, is to break down each synergy and just show you the different team setups that are available within the Monarch build. So we are going to move on to a different Monarch team now, so bear with me. And here we are. So this is another Monarch team that you can build. It is a combination of Pandora, Macaria, and Vittoria as well. You would have 2 other Valianters in here, your 2 strongest. I would probably suggest Elma, definitely. And then Hades is here just for the steal effect, if we do need to get that off, but I don't think we will. The reason that I've paired all of these up, again, is primarily because of that Monarch synergy, but this team also works relatively well. You do have 3 Deviants on the team as well, in the form of Macaria, Hades, and Pandora, plus you have 2 Celestials in the form of Elma and Vittoria as well. If you have Vittoria's half-red runes, she will bind, or she has the chance to bind enemies, which can be a very potent effect if she gets the double bind. So effectively you can stop 4 units from taking action per every 2 rounds. Elma will taunt all enemies as well if they do not have the unstoppable effect. Unfortunately, they do in this case. And then you've got Pandora as well, who will keep ultimating depending on if she kills somebody like this, for example. And the more ultimate attacks she does, the stronger her ultimate attacks become, which is why she is so powerful. This also applies to the rest of the team, not the scaling damage, but the multiple ultimate attacks. So if Macaria, for example, were to have a... if Macaria were to have an ultimate attack finish somebody off, then she would ultimate attack again, and that chain would carry on until she stopped killing enemies. So can be very, very effective against units or synergies like the Avengers and Phantoms as well. Do not sleep on her or Pandora when you've gone up against Avengers or you're going up against Phantoms, because they are very effective. Now, we didn't see a lot of damage from Pandora on this one. And again, the reason for that is she's not built up yet. So the more ultimate attacks that she does, the better off you'll be. Another option is you would take Hades out of this team and you would put Atrops on this team as well for the additional damage. As you can see, enemy's defense is super high right now, and it is thanks to Minotaur. So Minotaur does increase the defense of all enemies, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue here. We should hopefully see quite a bit of damage here. No, we don't, but we do get Pandora to do a double ultimate, and it seems to have paid off relatively well. As you can see, we are Hades to do quite a chunk of damage here. Even finishing Minotaur off there, not bad. But again, that is the effect of Pandora. Pandora is really, really good, and I believe that she's being released this season, so she'll be released in about 2 weeks or so. Now I'm just going to build another Monarch team, and let's jump straight into it. Here we go. So this is another Monarch team. Yes, I have included Eudora, but if you don't have Eudora, Katrina, absolutely fine fit in this team. Bai Sujem, absolutely fine fit in this team. It is more about the Monarch synergy that you are looking for. So you've got Elisha, Portia, and Dorabella, all Monarchs, all on the Ethereal's team. And if you bear with me 1 second, I forgot to do the relics. And now, ta-da, the relics have changed. So we do have... the 3 Monarchs, so Elisha, we've got Portia, and we've got Dorabella as well. Very, very strong units relatively. I would say Portia and Portia and Dorabella, not as strong as you would like, to be honest. However, we do have Karnak and Katrina on the team to provide additional shielding and HP. Whenever we get a crit, we do restore HP equal to the damage done. And as well, we also gain shields equal to Katrina's attack as well, which is, don't sleep on that. It's a very, very powerful ability, especially if you can get Katrina's attack quite high. As you can see, Katrina's attack is very high at the moment, and it seems to be working out quite well for us. We did take that big hit right at the start. If you are having trouble with that, the best way to counter that is Holy Shields. Having 2 Deviants on the team, so instead of having, Katrina on the team, you would have another potentially Monarch Deviant on the team, like Macaria, or anybody else really. Any other Deviant Monarch on the team would do you wonders. Now we can see Karnak pop off here. We should see a return. Oh no, we don't. So it looks like we've won. Easy enough, easy enough. So a lot of damage going through, a lot of max HP stacking. The point is that Portia combines very well with Karnak, and the reason for that is because Portia, whenever she gets healed, will convert that into attack. So I believe it's this one. When Portia receives healing, the excess of 2% will be converted into attack. The total converted amount cannot exceed 40% of her own attack. Believe that goes up whenever Elisha's passive triggers. So whenever she increases Portia's attack, the stack goes higher. So again, we are looking quite good with this team, especially against units that we are going up against the Avengers. Now that we don't have that initial burst of corrode damage to contend with, we should be smooth sailing. And as you can see, every single crit, Elisha really is the key to the majority of these events. If we get a crit, which we should start to do now quite consistently, because we've had 3 of these activations of our Excalibur, increasing our crit rate by 3 or 3 stacks. We should start to see every single unit crit, and as you can see, yeah, we're doing absolutely massive damage with all of our team, just taking them all out very, very quickly. They should revive in this next round. Yeah, I think they should revive in this next round. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll see some massive damage from Elisha here. Yeah, as you can see, up to 4,700 million already doing the job. And then we're just waiting for Solomon to go down here. I think we can get it in the next hit, but we just have to sit through all of these relic activations, of course, multiple triggers of Excalibur, because our crit rate is higher than 200%. So very, very strong. Again, Karnak putting in the work, Dorabella doing a lot of damage, Elisha doing a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and pause. Let's build another Monarch team. And here we are. So this is another Monarch team that you can go ahead and build. Not many people will have Leviathan, so might be a bit of an issue for certain people. But again, you can just use Merlin and Halissa and then have another Monarch instead of where Leviathan is. But let's jump in. Let's see how well these guys do. I think we should be absolutely fine. But again, the whole point of this team is to survive for as long as possible. Halissa herself is a Monarch payoff if you do have her runes. So, for example, Halissa will increase the attack, the HP of all Monarchs on the team by 300% if you do have her half red runes, and if you have her full red runes, they will increase by 500%. So it makes your Monarchs even tankier than they were before. The front 2, Dahlia and Arthur, can be replaced, but I would suggest keeping Dahlia on this front row, potentially popping Cleo in there, or Atrops in there in order to get that damage boost. But as you can see, we're doing more than enough damage here with our Reflect, and with the latest Monarch, these guys just keep hitting themselves, which is really, really good for us. As you can see, we don't have too much healing on this team. That is a fatal flaw of this team, is the lack of healing. It can be can be a bit troublesome in later stages. However, Dahlia more than compensates for that with her ultimate damage, and when she trades with Arthur, very, very strong indeed. Leviathan doing the business here, doing reasonable amounts of damage, taking these guys out, and then it is just Persephone and Franz to come back. And I think we should see another round of these guys coming back. No? Absolutely fine. So yeah, Merlin in here primarily for the Monarch synergy, but he does also give Halissa her reflect rates, which she does need to stack attack and defense as well. There is one more Monarch team that I'm going to show off in this round. So we are on stage 9 at the moment, so bear with me. I'm just going to pause and then we'll jump straight back in. And here we are, technically a 4 Monarch team, but Isis has not been released yet in the Oath Scrolls, so I've not been able to get her Monarch synergy up. When I get her Monarch synergy up, I am telling you, she is going to be a powerhouse. And the reason for that is because of the revival effect and because of that Monarch synergy. She also goes up to, I believe it's 30 million additional HP for the team based on revival stacks. And she goes up to 15 million attack as well. I believe that's how much it is. If I'm wrong down below, please do let me know. It'd be really interesting to see what the actual numbers on those are. But from the way I've worked it out and from the information given, I believe that is correct. Now, this is another Monarch team. Primarily, Mavis and Aphrodite is the one that you'll run together because of how powerful they can be. We have stolen enemy Sal here. So again, it is a stealing team, primarily because of Aphrodite. And what happens with, specifically with Isis, the way that she works, is that she will steal, say for example, if this enemy Sal goes down, hold on one sec. If this enemy Sal were to go down, yeah, she's putting the work in there, isn't she? Flipping out. But what would happen is if we had a spare slot and we went into the next round, Isis could potentially bring back Sal. She could potentially bring back Persephone. She could potentially bring back anybody else on the team. It can be very, very strong, this ability that she's got. But again, I think personally, she needs to be at a higher star level before she can really do a lot of work. Now, Persephone is in here. You can replace her with any other unit. Literally any other unit. The reason that I've got her in here is primarily for the healing for the team, because that can be a weakness of this team. There is a severe lack of healing, and especially with the build that we've got going on, the Grace of Hunters, you do need a lot of healing on your teams in order to build up reasonably quickly. So we'll just see. Hold on one sec. I'm just going to turn my camera off. And I want this windscreen of Isis so that I can make a short out of it and show how good she really is. So we'll see. We do get the other, the secondary ultimate. How much is she doing here? Not as much as I thought she would. That's a shame. So we do get the steal here as well. Who are we going to steal? Enemy Sal, of course. Yeah, Aphrodite to pop off here. So, in fact, I don't need to. That is a shame. Real shame. I thought we were going to get another Isis windscreen. I think that's the first one I've seen. But again, it's because she's at 6 stars. It is what it is. Like, she's putting work in, and she's only at 6 stars. But she does need to be higher. So that is it from me. And the next video looks like we're going to do enchanters. So thanks very much for watching. I do hope you have a fantastic day, whatever it is. Hope this has been informative. I hope I've shown off all of the different Monarch teams that you can build within the Valkyrie synergies. And yeah, let me know how it's going for you. Do you have any other ideas about Monarch synergy? Let me know down below.